God damn it, Brian.
Oh, fuck!
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of No More Popcorn. Last time we did this kind of setting, we were on a camping trip, and we figured this time of year in East Tennessee is the perfect time to replicate said setting. We are outside of Sir Nathan's trailer. Yes, camper. So last time we did this, we watched a movie from 1983 called Sleepaway Camp. We figured best follow-up that would be Sleepaway Camp 2. It was filmed in 1988. We switched directors on this too.
It was a different director.
Okay. I'm breaking my rule here of saying no cell phonage, but I'm going to do it anyway. Michael A. Simpson directed this movie. Basically, your breakdown is Angela has escaped out of mental institutions and hospitals and is now a counselor at...
She is a canceller. She is a
counselor.
She cancels campers.
She is a counselor at a new camp now. Yeah. So that's basically.
I think this camp was the one like across from them or something.
Yeah, might have been.
Because it wasn't that far away at the beginning of the show that they were saying. They're like another camp, just like half a mile from here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Angela.
So we have the. It even uses in the description the transsexual murderer of the first movie.
Yes.
Is now the counselor in this one, and she's like, I don't know how she got all this like puritanical kind of. Any of the kids act up. That's what happened. Like the kids act up.
She was probably in like one of those crazy Christian asylum type things.
I don't know, but. You know, if the kids are doing drugs, or one girl was like showing her tits, which is great,
right?
Or drinking, she comes down on them. She gets mad. She's sort of the overbearing counselor, and then at some point she just starts killing them. They act up, she kills them, and then says she sent them home. So everybody's like, "Oh, they went home," but no, she stabbed them and then cut their tongue out or barbecued them.
Yeah. I wanted to look this up because one of the first things I said, so the director of the first one, that's the reason I was referencing my phone again, Robert Hiltzik, our thoughts on this were, the first one is very,
there's a lot of homosexual.
Yeah, it's very driven towards like a lot of dudes and short stuff.
It's all
so we were kind of thinking
shorts.
like, oh, this guy is probably like, wait, people are saying what about me? Fuck that. And, but then we found out it's a different director. This different director was like, no, dude. This guy went totally the wrong direction. So you were crushing all of that shit within the straight out the gates. Like
Girls,
boobs,
it's like
boobs.
These are supposed to be like young teenage girls, and they're waking up in their cabin, and this girl just has her tits out. She's like, "What?
Yeah.
What, guys?
Yeah.
You don't have these yet. You will." Oh. It's like 5 minutes into the movie.
I wonder if the new director was the original director's like operational, like he's the one who did the operation.
Oh, he's like, you're doing this all wrong. You just wait. I'm gonna get the money. And I'm gonna show you how it's done.
Yeah, no, this one was a ton of fun. I noted very early throughout viewing it, like I kind of wish that your directors of Friday the 13th and stuff would have maybe taken a few notes on how to make an actually fun, because this movie was a ton of fun.
Yeah,
it was so much fun, full of laughs that were intentional. The humor was very well placed while being able, at least in my opinion, to maintain somewhat of a, it could be viewed as kind of a creepy movie, because the first one genuinely, in my opinion, is a creepy flick.
First one's more creepy. This one definitely leans toward the more fun,
the more comedic stuff. But your death scenes and stuff are really awesome. I think there's a lot of
dark.
Yeah, very dark. A lot of really creative ways of doing those. And your characters, I think, are very, for the most part, very believable. I mean, there's a couple that I feel like suffer. You could tell some of them are way better at just like delivering their lines. You'll have a couple that it's like, oh, hey, you should not do that. Kind of like very scripted sort of shit. But I didn't have an issue at all for the most part with the acting.
Except for one.
That one girl.
I want to go
I
home.
want to go home now.
Oh, the little kid.
Now.
Yes.
I mean, now.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was the one part. But other than that,
Everything else was great.
we had Uncle John, who's the sort of
the drunk old
God,
man.
dude.
This guy
He
was
the best.
No, I
literally drunk.
I don't want to cut you off, but I have to say this just because I feel like you'll be able to kind of take over from what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Whenever you first said, this dude just hops on camera. And Nathan's like, oh, this dude's drunk, and I'm thinking like, why is he going in that direction? Like, why would Nathan say that about this guy? Like, but that is his fucking character. Like, literally the very next scene is like, oh, hey, got any beer? I don't drink. Well, care to walk me? I mean, he's just like he's
so red faced.
Yes.
Every word.
Yes. He is the best
Oh
camp
my
counselor ever.
I got an announcement.
But the thing is, I actually think he wasn't supposed to be that. I think that guy was actually drunk.
Oh, no, I'm with you.
I mean, they were
yeah.
just like, okay, let's throw this line about
write
beer.
it in.
Because he's like, he can barely, he's like, hey kids, he could barely talk.
I can't hire another actor right now. I'm just gonna make do with what I have.
He's like red faced, and he's got that kind of.
He totally has the whole swagger about him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure there was one scene like he was wearing the hoodie, like he was supposed to be wearing a camp outfit thing, and he just showed up just that way, just drunk as shit,
just hungover.
Yeah.
I'm here.
It's like, what do
Keep
you want?
rolling.
I'm
Keep
here.
rolling.
Let's just get this scene done and
He's
over
here,
with.
thank God.
All
Keep
right.
rolling.
He had more lines. I don't know why.
And I really thought there was gonna be, like in the first movie, you also had the old guy that was running the camp, and he had that weird relationship.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was gonna go in that direction where he was gonna hit on Angela.
Yeah.
Who is our main character, the murderer. I thought they were gonna have some weird, creepy. They should have put that in the movie.
They
That
should
would
have
have
kept that with the theme.
Yeah.
Like the one dude that's actually getting with her, and then it's just like no.
Because she loves her
Yeah.
whole thing is respect the camp.
Yeah.
If you're doing bad things and you're breaking the rules, you're disrespecting the camp, and I'm gonna have to kill you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you would think like you could see her like fucking the old dude that's running the camp because she loves it and she loves him. But it didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. So your beginning of the movie, you've basically got some campers sitting around, and they're telling horror stories around a campfire. And one kid decides to tell a true story about Angela, or Peter, whatever his actual name. Which I don't believe that was ever mentioned in the original. I feel like they just kind of added that to this second. But this is kind of your setup. So they're telling these stories. This one person's like, oh, I've got this true story to tell about what happened in the original Sleepaway camp. And then Angela kind of walks up on the situation and here's what's going on. And she starts killing off the campers one by one when she feels it necessary, deemed upon their moralistic choices. But when people are fucking, that's bad. Basically, that's it, actually. If they're fornicating, she gets mad.
Yeah, she didn't kill the two girls that were smoking pot all the time because they were doing pot, because she walked up on them and then left them alone. But yeah, as soon as one of them was having
But
sex,
they were fucking later.
Yeah.
And she killed
them.
Yeah, in my opinion, the coolest kill scene.
Oh yeah,
that was my favorite. Like the grilling.
That one girl had to be out for like a whole day, because it takes a long time to burn a body.
Yeah, and then to set it up in a menacing way where it's overshadowing you while you're laying on a grill. I like that a lot.
The weird sex scene in the bathroom, if you would call it that.
Yeah, that was awkward. That was.
It's like, okay, they were showing the couple's feet.
You're confused by who is who,
but how they're moving, if you could see, you couldn't see their top halves, but you could imagine, if you could, that they were literally just going like this at each other. that they were like flailing about, and that's supposed to be like they're about to have sex, and then they sort of like go into the stall, and then he does the thing which we've seen in multiple movies where his head is in her stomach.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like right here.
It's supposed to insinuate him going down on her, but that's not. How
Well,
it works.
or he's like thrusting up,
Yeah.
but it's just none of the
He
distances.
was wanting to come up, but she kept shoving his head down. Yeah, that was a very awkward scene.
So maybe he wanted to put it in, and she wanted him to go down.
Yeah.
Maybe that's.
That's actually even funnier. I feel like we're fighting against each other here.
Whoa.
One of the most disgusting scenes in it to me, as much fucked up stuff as we've all watched, the whole scene of Angela shoving, I guess what did we decide to call it? Slut number 2.
Yeah,
Slut
she was the really hot one in the
into the porta-john, the outhouse.
Outhouse, yeah.
Oh my god.
It's filled with shit, piss, and
Leeches, yeah.
She's like, grabs her and puts her head in, and she's like, "What is that down there?"
Yeah.
It's like, shit. What else? Piss.
Angela got super dark in that scene.
Yeah. She was into some fetish shit. That's what I was getting out of it. She was the girl who couldn't get laid,
Yeah.
So she wanted to wreak havoc on everyone who could get laid.
Yeah.
There were 2 upstanding gentlemen about the ripe old age of, I would say, 9 to 10, who were doing their they were doing their duties as young gentlemen to take photos of nude women.
To me, those were the coolest ass kids
they were the cool
I have
ones.
ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got awesome photography of a chick showing her tits.
Inspiration to every young man out there.
Well focused. Wasn't out of focus at all. You could see everything. Good job to those kids.
She killed them and nailed them to the window. Outside the window where they were taking the photos.
What a shame.
What a goddamn shame.
Oh, that reminds me. I think one of the funniest parts of the movie, and I feel like this had to be intentional. If not, then it's even better, I guess. But one of the girls is complaining about having cramps, and Angela goes and checks on her. She's like, you had cramps last week. She's beating on this bathroom door, but before she beats on it, she walks up to it with a chainsaw. She has every intention of marching into this bathroom and kill her and this guy that she knows that they're with, or she knows that she's with.
This is the awkward fucking scene.
And the chainsaw will not start.
Yeah.
And so she just sets it down and walks up, just starts knocking on the door.
And the door's a fucking screen door. You're already murdering so many people. What is ripping a hole through a screen door gonna? Oh, don't alert anybody.
I love that because that was she just set the chainsaw down and went immediately from murder to I'm the bitchy counselor again.
I like the
and the girl completely bought it and was just like, oh, by the way, that because she had just murdered the 2 other people. She's like, oh, that blood looks like ketchup, or that it just looks like ketchup. Oh, funny. Like she's just joking.
And the nod to Freddy Krueger.
I was actually just about to bring that up. Speaking of like Friday the 13th could have took some notes from this movie. You do have so there's a battle between the male campsites and the women's campsites, and they want to engage in war basically. So the guys have this whole prank set up where a couple of them are going to dress up and try to scare these girls. And one of them dresses up like Freddy Krueger, and the other dresses up like Jason. And then we actually go into a Texas Chainsaw moment.
Oh yeah,
with the face wearing. Angela peels off someone's face, and then, off camera. We don't see this part, but then she puts it over her face and is wielding the Freddy Krueger's glove.
I was surprised that the kid that had the Freddy Krueger's gloves. It was 2 kids. They were gonna scare the girls. Dressed up as Freddy Krueger and Jason, but his gloves were actually knives on the glove.
Yeah,
she stole the glove and cut the kid's throat.
Yeah,
from him. I was surprised with that kid.
Yeah,
I really like the scene where the one girl comes in and she's like, I was looking for this person and I called her parents and you said that you had sent them home, but they thought they were still at camp. So the girl is telling her how she is starting to figure out that something weird is going on. All these campers are disappearing, and she says they've sent them home, but she can't, there's something weird going on.
Yeah.
And she's like going through, as the girl's talking, she's like going over and like trying to find something to kill her with.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
yeah. She picks up a coat hanger, and she's like, she puts her head through it. She's like, no.
Get a pencil.
Yeah, she like gets some little scissors. She's like,
boombox.
Yeah, picks up the boombox, and then she finally takes her guitar and cuts the wire, one of the strings off of it, and then it uses that to choke her, kill her. That was really funny. It was really awesome.
Didn't see you there. Diodario strings. Having trouble staying in tune? Having trouble killing a campmate? Use your A string.
When you're playing that big show, in Nashville, and everybody's gathered around, they won't break on you.
Yeah.
She'll be sure to break their esophagus.
I do.
You'll be sure to break their heart.
So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about comparisons between the first one and the second one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were pretty much straight out the gates like, oh wow, this is better than the first.
Yeah.
Initially I was not on board with that. I'm like, okay, I mean, I felt it to be like, this is kind of apples and oranges. It's a totally different thing. But as the movie played on, I wouldn't say that I agree or disagree necessarily. Like the first one, I think, is such a staple, like, and that iconic ending is sort of like it's hard for me to look past that as far as being like, man, yeah, the second one was definitely way better done. I feel like their choice of making it a little bit more comedic,
more competently done,
more competently done. Yeah, and the pacing was way better. I feel like overall it was a better film. I don't know necessarily if I feel like the weight of the ending scene of the original is just so impactful, and it's so heavy hitting and so fucking genuinely creepy.
Yeah,
I didn't find anything in this one to be genuinely creepy. I just found it to be a lot of really cool setups for deaths, and I found it to be like really well, that's it. Like the death scenes I think were really cool. The way that they tackled them and the way that Angela would kill people I think was really interesting and really neat. And he didn't really have a lot of like boring characters. At the first one we were kind of like based around mostly the same 2 or 3 characters, and one was a bitch.
Yeah.
One was a cousin who had to have her back, and the rest of them were counselors that had to act like they cared. In this one, each person sort of had their own thing that they stuck to a little bit more.
Everybody carried their weight. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, that first movie, the pacing was kind of, at parts it was kind of boring, and the characters did things that just kind of didn't make sense. It was kind of just weird. It was obvious that it was less competently done at times, but it did have a creepier sense to it. This one, I think it was better made. It was more leaning toward the funny, but at the same time, some of those kill scenes were pretty fucked up.
No, they were. Yeah.
But I agree with what you're saying that the first movie, the ending of that movie is beyond anything in these 2 movies. It's just it's such a shocker, and it's so weird.
It's almost like you have scenes in movies that stand the test of time, like no one will forget scenes from Silence of the Lambs. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like the ending of Sleepaway Camp is very much like that. Like once you see it, it's like, damn, that will forever be engraved in your memory. Yeah. So I feel like I have to give more praise to that one just because of that. But as far as overall enjoyment, I do think the second one kind of
a lot more fun.
It took it. Yeah. It went for it. It took it. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I know we always hate to do this. I'm sorry, but I do have to pee. extremely bad.
Dude,
Really?
we're just like
Yeah, I know.
getting right
So
down
close.
to it, and you got to take a
But
piss.
well, we're out in the wilderness now. It's a little bit easier.
It's always
it won't-
something.
It won't take as long as it
always-
does at the
Always
apartment.
something.
Always
Well,
something
you know,
with Brian.
don't-
Always have to stop shit.
Always something with one of us. At least one of us
Yeah.
has something.
Something.
Don't listen. There's walnuts over there. Don't trip on them.
Please
Don't
trip
piss on one either,
Yeah.
because
I won't trip on any walnuts.
don't
what
trip
he
on them
eats
and
for
don't piss on them.
breakfast.
I like to roast them in an open fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, open them in a roasted fire.
You open them in a fire?
That's an earnest
Walnuts
joke.
roasting in an
That's an
open
Ernest
fire.
joke.
All right, what
Ernest
Ernest joke do
Saves
you make?
Christmas.
Which joke?
It's the walnuts roasting in an open fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. All right.
Oh yeah, well, go take your piss.
I am Ernest
Okay.
Piss Stupid. I got
Ernest piss whirl.
Look at him.
I guess we'll. Okay, he's taking a shit.
Is he?
I don't know. Well, I guess let's pause. Let's pause. We'll pause it real quick. We'll come back.
Oh,
we'll come
God.
back. We'll come back.
Where is he?
Dude, what the fuck, man? He went to piss and he's been gone like 30 minutes?
Yeah, it's been about 30 minutes.
How is that even possible?
Where the fuck is he?
All you gotta do is go over there,
Why is he not over there?
drain the dragon,
Oh my god.
see.
Where is he? Brian? Brian? Oh shit. Brian!
Shit. Right? Wait, Patrick, wait. Right. Holy shit, man.
Brian, where are you?
Dude, he's right there.
Where?
Dude, he's right there. Oh, God. Ah. Oh, oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Dude.
No! What?
What happened? Are you just fucking with us, Brian?
What's the deal? What the fuck? What are you,
Why am I all out of
doing?
breath?
What are you doing?
God damn it, Brian.
Oh, fuck it! Oh, God. Patrick! Beat his ass, Patrick! I'll get the stick.
I got an idea. We'll burn his balls.
We told you, you motherfucker.
I know.
I'm sorry. It was just a fucking joke. It was just a joke. Guys, we've done this so many times. Why is this any different than any other times? I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me anymore. Please.
Sick of your bullshit, Brian.
Please don't hurt me.
Fucking sick.
Okay.
Fuck
I'm
this.
sorry. I'm sorry. No more gags. No more fucking jokes.
No
I'm
more
sorry.
fucking
I'm
jokes.
sorry.
No more bullshit.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Listen,
Please.
I want
Please
you
don't hurt me.
I want you to listen to me. I want you to listen. I want you to listen.
Stop hurting me.
I want you to listen. We're gonna teach you what it means to be a member of No More Popcorn. We're gonna teach you what it means.
I'm ready to listen. I'm
You're
sorry.
gonna listen.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna listen. Sit your ass up. Sit your ass up. Sit up. Sit your ass up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Here's
I'm
what we
sorry.
got. Here's what we got right here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's red hot.
No, come on.
2 for each
Patrick, come
testicle.
on.
No, you're gonna
Please.
get this.
No,
You're gonna get this.
Please,
Dude,
please.
see that? Sweet, I'm begging you.
I'm begging you. I'm begging you, please. Please don't. Please don't. Stop!
Yeah. Right in them balls.
No!
We're doing it again.
No,
We're gonna do it. We're gonna get all that
Please,
dick.
please.
I'm gonna skewer that dick.
Please.
I'm gonna skewer.
Fuck out
I'm gonna skewer that dick.
Please, please don't.
Hold on. Yeah,
Please,
wait.
Nathan.
Hold on. Hold still now. Hold still, baby. Hold still.
Nathan!
Baby.
Nathan! Nathan! God!
All right.
God!
Yeah.
I'm so pumped.
Oh, please.
I'm hungry. Are you hungry?
Oh, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
We're gonna get some. We're gonna get some wiener.
Oh yeah, we are.
You got that mustard?
Oh yeah, I got the mustard. I got that special mustard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's get this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's recording.
Oh, it's all cooked up now. Look at this.
Man.
Look at that.
Ooh,
I think it shrunk down a little bit, didn't it?
it did. I noticed you weren't circumcised, Brian.
Well,
Let's fix that.
we'll cut it now.
Okay.
Yeah, get you that side on it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Ooh.
yes.
Ooh.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
You sick fucks. You sick fucks.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Take a bite.
Yeah. Man, this is some good Brian
Brian,
dick.
what's the matter? What's going on?
You
What's the
you
problem?
fucking fucks.
You hungry?
No,
You
no,
hungry?
no, God.
No? You don't want some of that? Oh,
How about this?
get leg in
Oh.
I know what
He needs
See, I know the problem.
mustard, right?
You want some fucking mustard.
Yeah, let's get him some mustard.
You guys are fucking sick. You guys are fucking sick.
I knew that was a problem. Let's get. This is Engelhofer. It's good shit. It's very good. It's like
Proud sponsor of the show.
sweet and spicy. It's so good. Give him a little bit of
Ooh,
that. Give him a
okay.
little bit of that wiener.
There you go.
Get,
Please.
eat it.
Guys, no.
Eat that wiener. Eat that wiener.
Shove it.
Eat your wiener.
You gonna hold his mouth open for us?
No.
You want me? Oh.
Show it. Yeah.
Oh.
Chew it, man.
How was it?
Chew it.
Yeah. How you tasting there, Brian?
Just like your mom's last 4 boyfriends.
All right, Sleepaway Camp Part 2. I want to know.
Yeah.
Buckets of popcorn. What do you give?
Man.
What do you give it?
I'm gonna give this movie 5 buckets of popcorn, man.
5 buckets.
I had a great time watching it. Loved all the killings and the comedy in it. Must watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you got something to say over there?
No, we're not talking to you yet.
Okay.
Here, talk to me.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I gave it 5 buckets. I feel like overall it was an improvement from the first movie. Even though I think the first movie had a better ending, this movie altogether was a much more put together, better movie. Good comedy. It showed a lot of tits and no man ass, which is always a positive. And I it had good kill scenes, and I thought it was a good depiction of a summer camp. I enjoyed it. The characters were believable. It was funny. Sleepaway Camp 2, 5 buckets. What about you, motherfucker? What about you?
Summer camp is the place to be, where my kids can be free. Summer camp until I die. Summer camp for you and